Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Gaming with Blockchain, and we're on part 3 of robots, eggs, farms, and the metaverse. In fact, I think we're going to be doing a lot of eggs and robots in this episode. We touched a bit on the farms, we did a little bit on the metaverse. Let's see what the eggs and robots have to offer. So as before, same disclaimer, not financial advice, don't risk more than what you're willing to lose. And of course, follow and share. Thank you very much. So we're going to touch base first at Kryptomon. This is now the egg of all eggs. They started out with a Genesis release of about 1,000 eggs a few months ago, and they've been aggressively developing the game structure. Now this is all the games in this presentation are non-wax based. So this is on Binance, and then another game will be on Matic that I'll be discussing briefly. So as if you're a wax player, this is definitely a different blockchain, a different platform. So something to watch out for. So this is a game that I've mentioned prior episodes that is a mixture of kind of CryptoKitties, Pokemon kind of mix, and they've been evolving quite nicely in their development. If you go through the website, you can take a look at what they've been having. They've been doing what they had almost similar to Pokemon, where they have live loot boxes and live treasures. So you have that augmented reality. You go around, then you find a loot box, or you find an egg player or anything else of that sort, and you can claim it. Of course, again, being careful that you're not trespassing and you're not putting yourself in danger, of course, right? But definitely something to look for. So they've established their game structure. They haven't fully released anything yet. They're in the phase 1 still. We'll look at the roadmap in a moment. They got their tokenomics settled down. This is now the loot that's around the globe. Their Kryptomons are all unique. We'll show all the different characteristics and attributes in a moment as well. What they can achieve. What will actually happen in the game. So this is one of those other games where they're looking to do sponsorship and team environments where you can be either a fighting concentrated player or a breeder concentrated type of play aspect. And I think that's going to be very, very unique for something this involved. There's a lot of layers here. They made it easier where you can buy tokens or swap tokens. You can buy it on a credit card depending on where you are. So not all credit cards are accepted, or you have to buy it on one of those crypto-based preloaded cards. And then of course they have their marketplace, and we'll look at their marketplace just in a second. So we'll see their roadmap after we look at the marketplace, and let's see what we have here. So you see in their marketplace they have several, but I like clean interfaces, and this is at least one of those that it's really, really nice. I haven't connected my wallet, but you can see what's being available. You can view all in the listing, or you can just go back in the general list. And how you can sort it, you can sort it by generation. So which generation do you want? The status, are they just an egg, or have they hatched just yet? So if I look at the ones that have been hatched, this is where they are in the baby stage. So breeding hasn't been opened up yet. That's coming in basically this first quarter. But now you have some of the eggs that have hatched, the kind of characteristics that are in place. These are now the attributes to that particular breed category, their DNA, if you want to call it that, and the generation that they're under. And the skill sets. So it's always like a hit and miss, what they represent, what they are looking to achieve again, and then of course where they can evolve. What would be the potential of this particular Kryptomon? If we look at just the eggs, you can see different egg factors that are in place. And of course, if you're in any marketplace, you want to make sure you're looking at the authenticity of the market, because there's a lot of scammers, and everyone's copying successful sites and making ever so slight changes to either the website or to the collection. So it's something you have to really, really pay attention to if you could be looking into investing your hard-earned dollars here. So you can always go through the type of egg that you would look to purchase. You can see the price points that are available in the category. And then let's go back to market so you can see what the price points would be and how it's displayed. Give it a moment to load. And then you'll see the treasure hunts later on. So this is now the treasure hunt factor that what will happen in the next hunt. So the next hunt is on a particular day. You go out and you start finding this particular map, and you have a chance to win a Gen 0 jackpot or a price point of 20k loot boxes and everything else. So people have been very, very aggressive doing this. It's playable. I'm not sure if it's playable on both Android and Apple, which I hope it is both. So something you would have to kind of look into and see. The supported browsers are iOS and Android is Chrome. But that's something they should put in place. Let's see. I would say fingers crossed, yes. If it's not, please let me know. I can always update the information here. So that's what you have with treasure hunt. So if you're out and about and you are ready to try to get a loot box and everything else before the breeding starts, these are now another way to be engaged. But again, if you're doing this, please be safe. Make sure you're not trespassing and getting yourself in any kind of risk and trouble. It's definitely not worth it. So here we go into price points for some of the eggs that we were looking at in the listings, and you can see the prices can vary dramatically. So you have a generation 10 that's for 1 BNB, and then another one is for generation 3 that is a 3.9 BNB. Big difference overall, and you can store it to the class. Now the breeding part, as mentioned before, that's not coming till early first quarter, I would assume, but we're just kind of waiting out when that will happen for sure. You can see all the marketplaces where you can buy your eggs on the secondary market, because most of them have been sold now. And then you go through the phases and you can see what's going to happen. So we have a few eggs. We're just now waiting probably on the breeding stage of things. We're probably not going to be the fighting mechanics. It's more the breeding, how you take care of them, how you feed them. So we have to make sure we have food. So we have to make sure we have enough Kryptomon in place to do that. Making them happy. So you can imagine the kind of tasks that are involved. And you think it's entirely insane. It's insane enough as it sounds, but again, it's a play to earn. If that particular NFT Kryptomon becomes a successful Kryptomon that now can win challenges and win tournaments, then that NFT becomes more valuable, right? Just like a sword. If that sword is winning battles against an enemy, then that sword in the game becomes a highly prized or highly coveted item. I think this is probably the same mechanics as well. So let's now move on to another egg game called EggChain. This one is definitely far different, and you can see how the games I'm presenting here are from style is vastly different than anything else. In comparison, they don't really kind of match each other. And that's what I like. It's like, here's a different style. Maybe to you, to the audience, you find it attractive. So this game attempts to work on how people understand liquidity. And liquidity is always about pairing something and then earning either that native pairing token or a new token in a farming sequence. But they've also added a game element to it. So you have the 4 stages here in which to start off in your kind of liquidity or breeding process. And ultimately in the game is that you want to get to the ultimate chicken of the Bitcoin chicken. and it takes time. This is a process like anything. It's meant to understand that it's not something that's happened overnight. So you have the incubation stage, you have the mixer stage, and then from the mixer stage you have the evolution, and then the fusion process that comes in afterwards. These are all little steps to help newcomers get engaged in what liquidity means and how to do it. I haven't gone back in to make my claims, so what I find challenging for most of the games that are not wax based is definitely the fees. Now, yes, thankfully this is on, both of these games are on Binance, so the fees are smaller and less impactful compared to Ethereum, but still nonetheless you have to keep aside easily about $35 to $50 depending on how vastly you're going to be blending or mixing or making these changes in the game to keep the game flowing forward. So I haven't been on the game recently to update most of my blends, which I hope to do in the next couple of weeks. But I want to show you next is at the NFT store, the game element. They have the army supply, where you have the army that you want to build. So your NFT army that builds horsepower for your game structure. So if you want to have enough horsepower so you can battle your other enemy who may have slightly less horsepower. So it's a comparison of attributes in your assets and what you have in your asset hold. They have a casino element. Again, I'm not into that. I'm not into the gambling portions personally. And then, of course, the NFT store where you can buy collaborative NFTs or just to store NFTs in which to gain enough horsepower to play in the games itself. It takes a little bit of understanding to navigate the process, but if you really want to get into it and really understand that especially if you're going to get into DeFi later on, or GameFi, if you want to call it that, this is one of the less risky ways to adopt the understanding. Taking two elements and putting them together to earn something else. Now, there's no earning value in the chickens except for the egg token, which is the EGGC. Everything else is purely on what you do as a game player to achieve the next goal. So if you are looking to achieve the golden Bitcoin chicken, assess what are the requirements to do that. So you have to go through all these tools here in the incubator side to the fusion and decide, okay, what could be my path to navigate it. Again, this is research, right? It's nothing that is given to you to say, okay, here's a path to take. It's you to decide based on what's provided, what's going to best work for you. And then take into account, of course, the fees that come along with it. So I think this is a really good project to teach that on the non-wax blockchain or non-EOS side of the crypto space. So that's EggChain. Now we have Embersword. This is now a game that's in development. They're still working on the fine-tuning of all the scales. This is, I believe, is on Matic, so I don't have the account on this. Is again one of my partners that has ultimately gone through. We were hopefully looking to get a land that's a little bigger than what we got right now, but we're just happy. We're still grateful we got the land nonetheless. And again, MMORPG game. Again, not something that's popular or common in the blockchain space, but they're building one nonetheless. And that's again one of those things that could be the evolutional step for the next phase of adoption. Making games that have that interactiveness of the gameplay itself. So you can see the storyline, you can see how everything's built out. And you can also look at the worlds that will mean the territory, the caravan, trading, the land ownership, the AI game master. Then the nations, which still haven't decided what nation we're going to sign up on. Still thinking about it, haven't decided. And then what it means. I think this could be really, really a good game moving forward on the different, again, outside of the traditional blockchain games on Wax or Binance or Ethereum. we'll see what happens here. I think you'll always watch a trailer. So I'll have these all in the show notes for sure. And let's take a look at what they've been building in the background. So this is their stages for the robots. So here's one of those robot elements that are coming through. So kind of excited. I think, you know, the graphic wise it looks really intriguing, and it'll probably be one of those things that would be pretty fun to play. I'll probably die right away, likely. But it doesn't mean I can't watch someone else play, or they get segments from players who are run into this gameplay. So there you have it. This is now our part 3 of the non-wax blockchain games play to earn. Lots happening. You can see it's vastly different, and I haven't touched on everything because it's just not possible. But hopefully that you are enjoying what you're seeing, and you know, like I said, give me some comments, send me some feedback, ask some questions. We'll definitely try what we can to help out and get everybody on board. And like I said, this is just stuff to show you what we have interest in, so that later on we can always go on and say, okay, here's the update, what's happening here in this particular game. So until next round, take care.